Oh,
The chickens must be different or something. The,
Oh, that's
Oh,
what,
no,
what's
that's-
that?
because they are training that dodo, right? Bring a dodo bird back to life and get the big egg. That's a sausage.
We'll call this meeting to order. We all rise. Join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Well, good morning. Nice Friday morning. We're all here for the presentation of an ED 279. Josh Deacon is going to present it, and I'm just going to shut up and let him do his thing. Josh?
Thank you, Warren. All right, guys, so you should have a packet of information in front of you. The first page being the ED 279 summary of changes. You could pull that out for me first. So this document explains the changes between last year's ED 279 and this year's, or rather the year that we're in versus projected for next year. Okay. So analyzing changes to your ED 270. If you want to look at hours, start with section 1. Okay. So section 1 is a summary of our school population. These numbers are entered in at the beginning of the year through the NEO system and captured by the state. You can look at section A, attending counts. So these are attending pupils, comparing October 2021 to October 2022 in each of the grade levels.
See little. I better go to the other thing, I think. Okay.
Yeah, you'll want to have multiple documents out.
I can't read. Better, thanks.
Section B is our staff. And what this means is it records each staff member as well as what the EPS will fund based on their formulas. So for example, if you look under teachers, that first line, does everyone see that? Yes, okay. If you go over to the right, underneath where it says EPS FTE total, and it says 26.87. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So based on our numbers and our region of the state, 26.87 is the total number of teachers that the state of Maine believes we should have. Okay, we actually have 34. Based on our population, that's just what we need. Okay. This determines how we.
So. No, that's Rose. You see here and say, hey, you interrupted my movie.
I'll be sure to do that. Okay,
Read your first one.
yes, please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. That's a good.
I'm very sorry.
I always get a kick out of how they come up with like this 26.87
Yeah,
instead of, 27, 26.
So we actually have less staff this year
compared to
to last year.
sure. Yeah, point five.
Well, it's not
Yes,
half. Well,
yes. Okay, so, section C, would be,
You know, make sure I'm on the right one.
Sure.
I don't have the 26.87. I have 27.72.
you're looking at last year's.
yeah, I'm looking at, up at the top, it should say,
That's
Uh,
22.23.
no, you need the green banner one. There you go.
Okay.
Does everyone have the green banner that says 2023 to 2024 at the top?
I have an N.
All right, so section C is a computation of benefits. This is the amount of subsidy we would get to help pay our benefits for. It breaks it out, teachers, guidance, librarians, and nurse versus education and library tax versus clerical versus school administration. Okay. So on this ED 279 summary of changes, I'm going to go over 3 points that are changes from last year's ED 279 to this year's. Okay. Our average attending pupils from the last 2 years has decreased by 0.5. So that will affect our funding. We have less students attending, even if it is half of the student. Our total FTE allotment remains higher than the estimated EPS by 19.22 FTEs. Okay, so what that means is we are hiring 19.22 more staff than what the EPS is allotting for. Okay. And point C, overall calculated EPS rates per pupil have gone up in both elementary and secondary by roughly $300 a piece. You can see that at the very bottom. It says section 1 : totals. And it breaks out the changes of let's see, calculated EPS rates by pupil. For the elementary schools per student, we have $6,969. And for secondary, we have $7,446. And then shut the door.
You gotta shut the other door.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be considered an executive session, people won't be able to walk into it.
Gotcha.
So that,
Okay,
so actually we got a little bit of increased financing from the state.
yes, per pupil.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So if we could all go to page 2 of the ED 279. It'll say section 2 at the top. Okay. This page talks
Can I
about,
go back to the first page for a second? So the amount of teachers we're funded for, is that the majority, the extra ones we're hiring, is that the majority of the local share? Additional local share?
well, I mean, that money can come from anywhere. It,
Well, that's a pretty big chunk if it's, you know, you're talking that many teachers that aren't being funded.
yes, yeah, but I mean, the staff or the student population that we have needs that many. I mean,
No, I,
Some of that,
No, that's what we say it means,
okay, yeah,
okay? That number there is not good. That's not even, I mean, a couple is one thing. But when you're talking from 26 to 34 difference, and then you go down and look at your ed tax, and it's 2.93 and we've got 12. Hey, guys, we're way over. I mean,
some of
and
the.
of course that is going to affect your local taxes,
it is.
big time. Now, my one question to that is, those ed techs are not special ed techs, correct? Because
No, that is special ed,
I was gonna say, some of these ed techs
So-
are required.
one-on-one, some students require one-on-ones,
but those are all paid by
Federal dollars,
federal dollars.
not all of them.
the additional one, right?
For ESSER 3 for this year, yes, but traditionally. special ed techs have come out of our budget except for Title I.
But that's part of our revenue is the federal dollars, right? Those are,
Title I.
that goes in
revenue,
there.
yes.
those are separate than.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, thank you.
any other questions before I go to the next page?
So the biggest thing we need to do is increase enrollment. The only way we're gonna get. Fund
But
those
then-
teachers.
But then you increase staff. I mean,
That's
if,
right.
if we're over,
Oh, we're
if
overstaffed.
we're overstaffed
So if you have
with
more
the students
students,
we have, and then you increase students, you're gonna have more staff, right?
no, you'll just fill the
Guys.
classes.
Okay, go
My
ahead.
job here is to.
That's not-
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
We have
that's
to
a
stay
whole
on
different,
track.
that's a
I
whole
do
different
have
story.
things. Okay, thank you. Any other questions about section 1? Section 2 is a breakdown of operating cost allocations, okay? So
Sorry,
this,
sorry, I did have a question. You didn't talk about that rural index. So we're getting 0.88 of the EPS what we're supposed to have. Whereas Portland may be getting 1.2 of, so they're getting a lot more money. Is that correct?
yeah,
So that's screwing us too, 12% of what we're supposed to be getting, we're not getting.
correct, because we are where we are.
Okay,
But I will get into how that helps us later on. too.
okay.
Okay. So this section 2 is where you're going to see the extra money that we get for our special ed population, okay? Some key points to highlight on this page, the disadvantaged rate for the school district has gone down from 66.56% to 58.31%. Overall, this is good news for our district, but it does mean less money.
That's section C on this,
Yeah,
right? Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So we've gone from 24 to 35, from 243 to 153. 55, I mean. Okay, thank you.
if you look at section E, isolated small school adjustment. So this is where being rural would help us. It's based on like a 7-mile stretch between schools. So I think the way that they calculated it is from Granite to Medway Middle.
Mhm.
Because we didn't get the adjustment for Stearns to Scan. You look, it's only pre-K to 8 isolated small school adjustment. So we must be just under the threshold of the 7-mile distance. But because of this, we got an additional $59,035.90.
So it almost made up for that rural regional index, a
Yeah,
loss of 68,000.
I think that's how they adjust for that.
Unbalanced.
Okay, any questions on section 2? Section 3 will be other allocations. So gifted and talented expenditures. We do receive money in the EPS for a gifted and talented program. We saw an overall decrease in subsidizable costs in the amount of $109,856.86. Okay, so between the gifted and talented expenditures, special education, and transportation, there is that $109,000 difference between this year and last year.
So we're getting less money again.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cost of teacher retirement has gone up by $48,621.62. So if you look at section 3B. We have received more money in that line. Okay. And we didn't purchase another minibus or anything like that, so the rest are zeros. Do we have any questions on section 3? It's probably the most clear cut of the.
Our teacher retirement must be about done.
83,
No, but I mean, adding any more to it.
yes, yeah, we just have one.
We have one left.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Section 4. Okay, so this goes over mill rate, how that's
Yes,
changed.
I was asking him.
Yeah. So our mill rate has gone up from 7.1 to 7.29. This number affects how much funding we get and how much is expected of the town to contribute. Required local contribution has gone up by $118,055.66 from last year. And one key thing to note with this local contribution, we do not get the state EPS unless the local contribution is met 100% in full.
Josh, was that section B line, Mel expectation?
Yes,
That's what we're looking at there.
yep, all the way over on the right is the local
Well.
contribution.
Under section C. And then if you look at section C, you'll see how this mill rate factors into the state contribution as well. Okay, so the total allocation by municipality, so what the state has viewed our budget as is $5,080,361.44. The required local contribution from the town is $1,328,724. And the state contribution is $3,751,637.44. So state contribution has gone down a little bit, which I will explain in section 5. Okay, so this is the adjusted state contribution. Compared to last year, we are receiving $33,207.03 less from the state. Okay. The last page of the EPS is just a summary of the payments. What you're expected to get each month. Questions?
Is. If we had a loan, school department, does the state give us more money?
We had a loan.
If we, a grant, we had I'm saying grant loan, I'm trying to come to the right word. Say we decided to do a big capital project.
Yep.
Here, and we financed it. Do we get more money from the state if something like that happens?
I believe so. If you look on page 3, under debt service allocations,
Page 3 of,
sorry, section 3 of the EPS. And it's line C. 2, 3.
Okay.
So that question would be something that I would have to talk to the state about to get a definite answer, but there is a section in the EPS for,
There's a formula for that, the debt, the interest and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just,
But you're talking about if it's approved by the state. if the
Right, no,
state
no, yeah.
approved, Not if it's one that we approve,
we have to get it approved by the state.
right?
Yeah, I know.
We don't-
I understood that. I-
We have bonds out, right?
We have, right,
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
we okay those. are state,
that's a different.
Yeah, yeah, I think, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So what, right now, what? Where do I find how much more it costs the town of Millinocket over what they should have, what the state says the town should contribute?
So you're looking for the additional local appropriation.
What's our additional?
So that is a number that I come up with
Okay,
in the budget process.
Okay.
I'll give you all the ones that are gonna be similar to what you saw last year. But yeah, that basically where I look at our budget, I look at the EPS funding, the required local contribution and our list of special revenues that we also take into account. And then whatever the difference of that is, that's our additional local appropriation.
That's where if I looked and saw percentages of local taxes, different towns paid, I could compare it with Millinocket. Because you can find that on the internet. Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
so this total allocation is what the state is saying.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
They're looking at $2.5 million if we didn't have any other revenue coming in.
Right.
That'll give you a ballpark if you subtract that.
Right, but I was just wondering,
Yeah, I understand.
I was just seeing if that had changed, and it has not, it's the same as that.
Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Is anything still not clear?
Clear as mud. No, thank you for explaining it. I mean, it helped
Yeah,
a lot.
absolutely. This,
I printed some of this stuff out at home and it helps to have someone to say, this is what to look and do.
yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Included in your packets, this analyzing changes to your ED 279. It's colorized and they put boxes around things.
That's what I printed out.
Yeah, it makes it very easy to kind of break down where the numbers come from. My door is always open if anyone has questions later.
I think as we start working on the school budget and things like that, we're not start looking more at this. Which we do every year.
Most of it will go, George, so he'll be presenting what the budget is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And if you have questions, he's right there.
right.
I am right here.
You are.
So speaking of that, where are we on our budget?
Dr. Lane and I have met with most of the department heads. And I'm currently compiling it into our system. We haven't received numbers from negotiations yet, so that'll really kind of.
Yep.
Point the budget in the direction it needs to go.
Because I know that the council said last night that they're going to go by the charter this year. So that means all budgets have to be finalized by 27th of April.
Right now, we're just waiting on the
Unions, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got everything.
You got everything else.
We always did that before.
Oh, we
And
used
then
to-
it's.
we used to, but we haven't been a while. It went away.
I'd rather have it done sooner than
Oh,
later.
yeah,
Yeah,
Same.
that's still this May and June is crazy.
You can work on your expense, you know your expenses are gonna be. And you're not, it's a crystal ball for, because that ED 279 can change.
It can change, but not drastically.
And,
I don't want.
well, it depends on, I know they curtailed a bunch of times. That's money you thought you were gonna get and you didn't get.
Yeah.
That happened multiple times
I hope,
during the years.
hopefully, I don't want to be waiting till the school starts or the day before school starts to have a budget in and get it approved.
No,
by
we're
the
supposed
town.
to have it ready for the
I
vote.
know we're supposed to have it ready, and in times past. We haven't because of different various reasons. I know that's one of my priorities, is I want to make sure we
I
don't
will
fall into
not
that trap.
allow a repeat of last year, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
that wasn't fun for me either.
No, I know it wasn't. I think Tom's saying the same I am. The town wants it in and we want it in.
Does anybody have any more questions on the ED 279? For Josh? Have anything else you'd like to say?
Thanks for having me. It's always good to see you guys.
Thank you for explaining it. It helped an awful lot for me as a new member
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
hear you explain it.
Josh, you have preliminary numbers of what our surplus is,
At this point in time, no.
or we have a surplus?
I would think so. I mean, the same information I gave you in November, that's all I got.
Okay. And I see during your report that there's been issues with the auditors and stuff, so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, everybody else set?
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Thank you for explaining.
You have to turn that off.
I'm not allowed to take.
I say, Ronnie, did you have to turn that off?
No, came over.
Okay.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes,
can you take a vote for the adjournment, please?
oh, sorry.
I make
That's
a,
okay.
Looks like 5-0.
Who motioned?
I made a motion.
Thank you.
Betcha.
Thank you.